Welcome back. Once again, adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, M45 has essentially been configured to the Kill Ballad 2019 control scheme. And now all that's left to do for the final step is to test it against the might of the Honorary Prez. Which means that Kaito and Akiho are about to do battle with real robots this time, instead of just virtual replicas via the classic Kill Ballad system. Now Akiho may be ready to do battle, but as we've seen previously, Kaito's not holding his breath regarding whether or not to actually be a worthy opponent. But with that said, this is an important step to making sure that everything is properly configured correctly. Akiho and I are in position, facing one another. Each of us is holding a Pokecom. Mirroring us, M45 and Prez are standing across from each other as well, motionless.
Aki-chan ってすごいよね。尊敬するよ。
Is that sincerity or sarcasm I detect in your voice?
何も？
いつも俺にコテンパンにされてるのに、なんでそんなに自信満々な顔でいられるのかってね。
Yeah, it was sarcasm.
何も考えてないからじゃないですか。
考えてるよ。この前のロボワン決勝戦だってもう10回以上映像を見たんだから。
That being said, when it comes to the controls of Kill Ballad, Kaito has the advantage of Akiho in that regard.
M45 のことはバッチリ研究済み。
煽り合いはいいから、さっさと始めようよ。
Indeed, let's.
ちょっと、カイの方から煽ってきたくせに。
See how this goes. Even though this is just a practice match, we've established some rules. Whoever knocks their opponent down 3 times will be declared the winner, as per Robo 1 regulations. That said, there are no ring outs because we have no ring, since we're on a runway. For me, this is just a match to break in M45 with, but for Akiho, this is the real deal.
じゃあ、始めるよ。
With little fanfare, I begin to march M45 forward.
よし来い。
The Honorary Prez suddenly starts to change forms. Going for that attack right off the bat, really shouldn't have been surprised that Akiho was doing that, but needless to say, probably not your best strategy.
疾風怒涛の元気一発。種菓子アクセルインパクト。
それ叫びたかっただけでしょ、アキちゃん。
That she did. It's way too easy to dodge a tackle at this range. Besides, once the Tanagashi XL impact has been activated, it can't be turned off.
避けるなんてずるい。
Yeah, this one's on you, Akio.
Jun, 止めて！手で止めて！
Yeah, I think it's a little too late for that.
追いかけて！
Well, looks like this fight is over before it even started. As the Honorary Prez zooms further and further away, Juna finds herself chasing after it in a panic.
タキちゃん、真面目にやってよ。
本気で勝ちに行ったらあんな風になっちゃった。
Your excuses won't save you this time.
この試合の意図を把握していますか？あくまでヤシオ先輩が M45 の操縦になれるのが目的ですよ。
分かってるよ。
I think you got a little too carried away there.
連れ戻してきたよ。
Well, at least it didn't speed off into the distance. Despite running pretty far, Juna doesn't seem the least bit out of breath. At least she's in good shape. She would have to be if she was practicing karate all this time. That said, she's holding the robot in the most timid and nervous way possible.
そーっと、そーっと。
She's also way too cautious about how she's setting it down. Yeah. I think that trauma from breaking one of Doc Fujita's robots is starting to get to her. She's even talking to herself.
ジュンって足速いね。さすが空手部。もしかしてうちら4人の中で一番速いんじゃない？
Probably.
どうかな。50メートル走何秒？8秒2だったかな。
I don't know about you, but that's pretty fast in my book.
カイト・スバルは
9秒5。8秒9。
Okay, they're pretty close, so it's not that much of a gap. But then again, that is the 100-yard dash, so actually that's not that impressive.
スバル遅っ。
By 0.4 seconds.
そういう部長は何秒なんですか？
うちはほら別にいいじゃん。
Yeah, this isn't looking good for you, is it, Akiho? I know for a fact that it's an awful 14 seconds flat, but I remain silent. To be fair, the both of us can't exactly sprint due to our medical condition. There's not much we can do about our speed. That exertion it probably would trigger an attack.
今度から種菓子アクセルインパクトを使った時は順に追いかけてもらおう。
Not the best solution, but I guess it's what we've got. Not that it's fair on Juna, mind you.
というわけで仕切り直しだよ、カイ。
今度は真面目にやってもらいたいね。
I want a real fight.
わかってるって。
The Honorary Prez, now back in its original form, slowly inches forward, shaking all the while. The asphalt is pretty bumpy, so it might be difficult to maintain its balance.
そんな正面から接近してきていいわけ？
スピード重視。
Just, don't go overboard, Akiho. I guess I'll practice some of M45's throws. To master a grappler, one must first understand its range. If you can't get that down, you'll drown in pools forever. The M45, of course, is equipped with several different command grabs. Not only does it have long and short range throws, you can also throw from upper, mid or lower body positions. Quite versatile. This helps expand the amount of strategic options the operator has. It also solves the issue of different enemy sizes. Frau really knows her stuff. Too bad about that personality of hers. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. To try and get a feel for M45's range, I try inputting a lower body command grab from a distance. M45 leans forward slightly and stretches out its arms to grab the Honorary Prez's legs. But as expected, it whiffs completely. Whiff. Video game terminology. Originally a baseball term, it means to miss an attack. Until now I've used terminology before. Yeah. Swing and a miss. Even with Akiho's lack of skill, the Honorary Prez does still have the evasion advantage. The Prez is still way out of range. But now I pretty much have the range down for the long range throw.
Yay! 空振り!
We may have missed the first time, but we won't miss the second.
アキちゃん、笑ってる暇があったら攻めたら？
もちろん攻めるよ。ゴー種菓子マシンさんかい。
By the time the Prez starts moving forward again, I'm I've already recovered back into my neutral position. The Honorary Prez approaches me completely unguarded. Yeah, speed is pretty much Akiho's only strategy. She is, yeah, not that clued in on the finer aspects of subtlety.
コマンド
And, yeah. As seen previously, she's not good with command inputs either. Akiho's struggling with the command input process. What's the point of even having the KB system installed if she's like this? She finally executes a command and attacks with a close-range lariat, but I counter with a mid-body throw. M45 grabs both of Honorary Prez's arms, leans against him and knocks him down. Yeah, that's a pinfall. That is indeed a pinfall. Prez gets smashed underneath.
俺に1ポイント
Kaito 1, Akiho 0. Subaru pulls apart the tangled robots and stands them up again.
この前ロボワンを戦った時はこいつの投げの間合いは結構広いって感じたんだけど
I think it's all a matter of perspective there, Kaito.
実際にやってみるとそうでもないね
それは先輩がまんまと僕の思惑にはまった結果でしょう
Yeah, Subaru is right, of course.
M45 で戦うときは試合の最初の方で必ず腕を広げて挑発のポーズをするんですそれで対戦相手を惑わせるんですよ
Of course, anyone familiar with the Pleiades strategy won't be snared so easily.
M45 は軽量タイプにしては腕を長めに設計してあるそれが目の錯覚となって実際より長く感じてしまうわけです
That's what that taunt was about.
だったら俺もそのポーズは継承した方がいい
そうしてくださいそのポーズ専用のコマンドも入れてあります
A clever feint to make their opponents think twice, not really realizing that they're being played.
ああコマンド表にあった挑発ポーズってやつあれか
This guy's thought of everything. Let's give this a shot. Once the command goes through, M45 spreads its arms out, its body rocking gently.
隙あり
Much like Kaito at the actual event, Akiho has fallen for the ploy. After circling around to M45's side, Prez enters its range. How dare she try to attack while I'm testing out a taunt? Still, not a bad strat.
アキちゃん汚いね普段正義の巨大ロボを作ろうって言ってる人間とは思えないよ
変形合体バンク中に攻撃を仕掛けた敵は一人もいないと思ったタブーは破ってもいいんだよくらえ種子しアッパ
Chris's arms start shooting up from under M45. Thanks to the end lag from the earlier taunt, I can't dodge. Instead, I twist M45's body 90 degrees and face its back to the Prez. I then smoothly transition into using the pile bunker. Kaito with counter. M45, on the verge of toppling over from the uppercut, still manages to use its pile bunker. Weren't expecting that, were you, Akiho? The tip strikes the asphalt. The recoil from the pile bunker manages to push M45 back up. Clever. It then makes contact with the Prez, serving as a headbutt. Both robots topple down with M45 on top.
何今の変な動きしたね。
今のも俺にポイントつくよ。
Robot 1 rules, that's a knockdown.
なかなか面白い使い方をしますね。ヤシオ先輩、今のパイルバンカーはとっさに思いついたんですか？
Well, considering the fact that you were the one who designed it to begin with, I'm surprised that you didn't think to use them as leverage to keep M45 from being knocked down. Of course, the pile bunker only really works if it's knocked well, if it falls forward or falls to the side. If it's knocked backwards, however, unless you get really lucky, it's almost impossible to recover from that position. Kaito used M45's ranged capability to his advantage. I wouldn't have been able to come up with it in 8 frames though.
読みだよ、読み。
Since Akiho is an easy opponent, it was fairly easy to react. Against tougher competitors, it's not going to be an easy feat to pull off.
アキちゃんがアッパーを出してくるだろうっていう読みが外れてたら全く無意味な行動になってたわけで、今のはたまたまうまくいっただけ。
Very fortuitous. Much to Akiho's annoyance, of course. Juna stands both robots up for us while giving the frustrated Akiho a strained smile.
ほんの数分練習しただけでここまで M45 を使いこなすなんてさすがですよ。
Thank you, Subaru. What's this? Subaru's actually complimenting me? He recognizes skill and talent when he sees it. What's gotten into him?
本当にヤシオ先輩はゲームの腕だけは一級品ですね。
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
これでもう少しロボへの情熱を持っていれば、ロボ部も今ほど腐っていなかったでしょうに。
ロボでもロボットアニメでも全員一にはなれないでしょ。俺が介入できる余地なんて全くないじゃないか。だから興味ないわけ。俺は俺の腕だけで全一になりたいんだよね。で、キルバラには倒したい相手もいたりする。どう？案外俺の行動原理は分かりやすいでしょ。もちろんロボ1だって出るからには全一を狙う。俺の腕次第で狙える余地はあるわけだからね。
先輩にオペレーターを頼んだのは正解だったみたいですね。理解はできませんが、リスペクトは。
Subaru's words stopped abruptly. He's looking past me, right over my shoulders. I was going to say that you were laying it on there a bit thick there, Subaru. It looks like we have company. He looks like he's seen a ghost. I turned around to find a man I've never seen before standing by the abandoned terminal. Greetings and salutations, Hiromu. What a rugged old man. In contrast, his clothes are awfully gaudy. He's taking large steps as he walks toward us. It's as if his whole body is exuding this incredibly unnatural aura. Yeah, I think your plans have been busted, Subaru. This dude's definitely pissed, though I have no clue as to why. You'll know soon enough, Kaito. He looks like the type of person who would punch you in the face if you said anything to him at all. And probably would. That's the kind of stubborn, old-fashioned look that he's wearing.
誰？
I glance over at Akiho, but she just shakes her head in confusion. Daitoku-san looks just as dumbfounded. I guess nobody knows him. Except that's not true. Well, aside from one exception, there's one club member who's trembling violently and uncontrollably. Subaru. He steps back once, then twice. He looks like he's about to run away at any moment. As a result, his foot gets caught on the Honorary Prez, who just happens to be standing on the ground.
なんで？
スバル、あの人知り合い？
スバル
The old man is now so close that we can hear his voice. He calls out to Subaru. I guess they do know each other. That they do. Subaru, on the other hand, he suddenly stops shaking, hangs his head low and freezes, crestfallen. There's nothing but despair on his face. The older man completely ignores us and stops right in front of Subaru. Subaru keeps his face lowered. Maybe he's scared of making eye contact. Something tells me that this isn't going to end well. I have a hunch that this guy is Subaru's old man, but I don't intend on trying to confirm that for myself. Well, you won't need to, Kaito, because that's exactly who we're dealing with. Me and Akiho and Juna can't do anything but watch what's about to unfold from the sidelines.
どういうことだ？
違うんだ。
何が違う？
僕は
何が違う？黙ってちゃわからんだろうが。
I think it's time to come clean, Subaru.
ホビーロボで遊んでいました。
The older man draws back one of his massive, thick arms and drives his fist deep into Subaru's cheek. Subaru's knocked to the ground with incredible force. Whoa, whoa, he just punched him.
あ
I don't think we should really get involved here, Akiho. It's during this tense moment that Akiho dares to speak to the man. Akiho, don't do it. All you'll do is make things worse. This isn't about being brave, it's about being reckless.
いきなり殴るのは良くないと思う。
部長、口を出さないでもらえますか。
Achievement unlocked, Robo Activity Journal 1. Not sure what that's about, but Akiho's reckless intervention is quickly cut off by Subaru's words.
これは部長には関係ないことです。
でも
I think you should listen to him, Akiho. Subaru staggers to his feet. His lips are cut open, and a small trail of blood trickles from the wound.
お前は約束したはずだ。こんなおもちゃ遊びは二度としないと。その約束を破ったのか。
And he did.
はい。
どういうことか説明しろ。
くて。
ちゃんと答えろ。
夢だったから諦めきれなくて。
何が夢だ。高校生にもなって何を子供みたいなことを言ってる。
Judging by this conversation, that guy is definitely Subaru's old man. It's hard to believe that this rugged dude ripped straight from the late 40s and this snarky intellectual are related. So this is about Subaru playing with toys. Is this why Subaru was hiding his identity by disguising himself as Mr. Pleiades? Yes, Kaito. This is the reason.
なぜ俺が怒っているかわかるか、スバル。わかるかと聞いている。
未だにホビーロボで遊んでいるから。
お前が俺に隠れて約束を破っていたからだ。お前は自分で約束したんだ。もうロボットは全部捨てると。俺の後を継いで漁師になると。あの約束も嘘だったということが、は？
そんなんじゃ。
だったらこれは何だ。いつから俺に隠れて遊んでいた。
2年前。
2年前。2年前だと。その間ずっと親を騙してきたということか。 ふざけるな。
It all happened so fast there was no time to stop him. Subaru's father grabbed M45 and threw it at the ground as hard as he could. The Robo 1 champion. The machine that Subaru worked so hard to build. The crumpled remains of M45 sat still on the ground, its arms and legs bent every which way.
こんなものは。
Subaru's father then tries to smash it one more time with his foot. Akiho desperately grabs onto his leg.
そんなことやめてください。
Oh, Akiho, you still can't read the room, always acting reckless.
この子はあなたにとってはおもちゃかもしれないけど生きてるんです。スバルの思いが込められて生きてる。それをこんな壊しちゃうようなことしないで。
I think, well, maybe now may or may not be a good time to tell him about the Robo 1 tournament.
悲しすぎるからやめてください。この子を傷つけることはスバルを傷つけるのと同じことだと思う。
I think Subaru's heard enough as it is, Akiho.
部
Akiho.
長、余計なことはしないでください。これは部長には関係ないことですから。
スバル、
家に帰ってからこのことについては詳しく聞かせてもらうからな。すぐに帰ってこい。
He angrily swipes his leg out from Akiho's grasp and storms away from the airport. As I thought, it wasn't going to end well. Not at all.
ということなので帰ります。M45 は適当に処分しておいてください。
Well, looks like our hopes of winning the Robo 1 Las Vegas World Championship and the prize money that comes with it has been dashed.
処分って何言ってるの？
もういいんです。もう僕の夢は終わったんで。
Despite the fact that you were so antagonistic towards Akiho Subaru, you were the same as her.
失礼します。
You were trying to chase your dream. Now that dream is over. Subaru starts walking, his head still hanging low. He really intends on going home, just like that.
スバル、
After wiping away her tears with her wrist, Akiho calls out to him.
またロボ部に出てくれるよね？
I wouldn't count on it. After all, the reason that he joined the Robotics Club was the fear of Hiromu finding out. But if he has to explain the truth behind Mr. Pleiades to his own father, then that pretty much destroys the ties that Subaru has to the Robotics Club.
ね、
In other words, I think we've lost him, Akio. Subaru doesn't turn around or answer her. He just leaves. And like that, he's gone. I can only imagine what kind of conversation is about to happen when he gets home. Subaru will probably just accept everything his father tells him. He looked like he knew it was all over once he was caught.
ごめん、守ってあげられなくて。
Ruined shell of M45. Akio sits down in front of M45. She gently caresses its damaged body with her fingers.
このロボット、直せたりしないのかな?
There's only one man on the entire island who can fix M45. But facing him will open up another can of worms entirely.
純ちゃんもロボに愛着感じるようになった？
まだよくはわからないけど、ただ私も小さい頃に大切にしていたぬいぐるみをお父さんに勝手に捨てられたことあって、その時とっても悲しかったから。
In other words, Juna understands what Subaru is going through.
それと似たような感じなのかなって。うん、きっとそう、きっと。
And to think, what happened to M45 could have almost easily happened to Gun Build 1 if Vice Principal Usui had managed to have her way.
ジュン、覚えといてね。日本人って物にも魂を宿らせちゃう人種なの。ロボットアニメが日本で昔から人気だったのはね、その辺が関係してたりするんだ。
I'm not sure that's the reason, Akio.
そうなんだ。
まあ確かにそういう傾向は強いけど、だからって全員が全員そうだとは決めつけない方がいいよ。
After all, Usui, Michi, and of course, Hiromu are proof of that.
スバル君が M45 にどれだけ愛着を感じていたかはわからないでしょ。修理するのはそんなに大変じゃないさ。それこそドクに頼めばあっという間だろうね。
You do remember the can of worms, don't you, Kaito? The sign does say robot clinic after all. Unlike humans, hobby robots can be fixed. But
ロボは直せても、スバル君はどうかな。
どうって？
心が折れちゃったら 立ち直るのは大変でしょ。
そっか。そうだね。それもよくわかる。
Indeed. I bet Juno is thinking of her time in the karate club. For me, I never stopped playing games even after Misane tore me to shreds endlessly when I was a kid. I glance at Akiho. She's crouched down with her hand pressed against her chest. God damn it, Hiromu. Your antics have caused Akiho to have a fast-forward attack.
アキちゃん、発作？
Good job. Yeah, it's happening. She doesn't answer.
アキホちゃん？
なあ、大丈夫大丈夫。
She will be, although that being said, I help Akiho up by wrapping my arms around her shoulders. All the life is drained from her face. Her eyes are staring off into the distance. Her entire body is powerless. She's entirely at my mercy. We can do nothing but wait for it to pass. I guess all this fuss took an emotional toll on her. I place her think toy into her hand and she grabs onto it, weakly. This is Juna's first time seeing one of Akiho's attacks.
純ちゃんさ、まず深呼吸して落ち着こうか。
Juna does what she's told and takes 2 deep breaths.
とりあえず30分もすればアキちゃんは元通りになると思うからさ。悪いんだけど、今からジュース買ってきてくれない？金は後で払うよ。スコールとフルーツサワーメロン。スコールはペットボトルね。
We have to wait half an hour.
わかった。
We don't have a choice. Despite being on the verge of tears, Juna runs off to buy some drinks for us. Time to call Akiho's house and have her parents pick her up. I look down at M45, which is still lying on the ground. Guess I'll store it in the hangar after I send Akiho home. Well, it's the least we can do. Subaru told us to toss it. But there's no way I can just throw it away like that. It's just... I guess going to the Robo 1 World Championships isn't happening anymore. Those thoughts running through my mind, I watch as the sun sets and the sky slowly turns purple as night falls. And the next day, we're here at the Euro General Store. I came out here in this pouring rain, but Mizuka-san seems even less energetic than usual. I think I know why, but that will have to wait. So when we return, adventurers, looks like there's more discussion to be had between Kaito and Mizuka. As always, until next we meet.